happens is as you're dealing with the breathing exercises to raise Kundalini, you end up with what is known as the cobra effect. The cobra effect is that this part of your jowls and your neck begins to expand. That's why the ancients, when you look at the diadems, they usually have a cobra along with Mother Mut. Mut means raw energy. That's why the so-called vulture was there. It is raw energy. It is what the vulture does. He takes crap and garbage and takes that and converts that into energy. So that's the same thing. Mother Mut was the base of Kundalini. Okay, she is raw power. So what happens is you get what is known as the acute, or what we call an acute pranic effect, the inflow and outflow that is symbolized by the cobra. And now the carotid is right again below the ears, right on top of the neck, and it looks like the coccygeal gland that's down around by the area in the area of the crotch and the area of the spine down at the base of the spine. So as above, so below. You'll look and see that the base of your spine opens up to look like the cobra. And when you begin to breathe up that energy, to bring it up to the pinnacle, to open up what we call like the lamp of Gad that taketh away the sins of the world. Gad is the head. The name is not God, the lamp of God. It was the lamp of Gad that taketh away the sins of the world. They changed it up so you didn't see, so that you could not pick up the secret. Body is dealing with health and purification. The pineal rises, and essentially it hardens like a penis ready to give forth its life force. And what happens as Kundalini is rising, it rotates inside of the substantia nigra of the brain. It actually rotates. And what happens, it begins to give off phosgene information or energies that begins to light up the substantia nigra to the point where a rainbow, that the ancients say a rainbow is formed around the pineal. And that rainbow is the first and only ark of the covenant. What they talk about in the Bible and what they tell you they're carrying around, and so that is just representations of the ark that actually happens when there is phosgene and a lot of sparks given off by the potassium as you begin to raise Kundalini. So Kundalini, the pineal rotates during the time, so it's actually honing in the way that a radar dish or any of the dishes you use, it turns to get to the right spot where it begins to localize or pick up spiritual energy past the interferences that you see with 5G and all the rest of it, which makes it twice as difficult to be able to use Kundalini energy and to penetrate through this screen. They know what Kundalini energy does. They know what raising your life force and your energy does. That's why you see you're inside of a polluted soup of electromagnetic smog in your home, around you, in your workplace, outside, in the 5G, especially with the chemtrails. All of these things are to circumvent your ability to raise that energy within you. Now, just to give you an idea, so you know where the pineal or the epiphysis dorsi is located, we give this particular, I guess what you call animation. And in that animation, you'll see that the epiphysis is located just what is known as rostrodorsal. What is rostrodorsal? It means it's in the back of a beak-like or beak-like projection. And if you notice that as it turns, you will see that that is the beak of Heru. The beak of Heru, as spoken in our ancient Kemetu sciences. All of what you see the ancient ones looking like they worshipped, you know, the European comes up and thinks that we were worshiping hawks or we were worshiping lions. No, they were all a part of us. They were all what we call simulacra or simulacrum, which means they were similar to what we are. We are the highest form of life, the highest spiritual form of life. So every other form of life in existence on this plane is within us and is represented in our body parts, represented in the way that our molecules and the ways that our designs of our skull, the designs of our spine. We are, as we are forming in the womb of our mother, we go through all these different shapes that look like the different animals. Well, that's because they all are projections from us back when we were ethereal beings casting forth our own ways for creation, imitating our mother father. So it's located rostrodorsal, near the back of the beak of any beak-like projection, to what is known as the superior colliculus, and behind and beneath the striate or stria medullaris, between the laterally positioned thalamic bodies. Now, this was a technical thing so that you can go look for yourself. This is what I give to my students. They go and they study the anatomy so that they can understand and understand exactly what this whole thing about Kundalini is. You have to understand the physicality as well as the spirituality, and you have to understand what it is and understand what it is you must be able to do and become in order to be able to participate in this science. So this is that little red dot you see is indicative of right where the pineal sits. Now, it's interesting because if you look at the pineal gland, you will see it looks like what we call the staff of Usur. And Usur, which is the symbol of resurrection, because essentially when you raise Kundalini, you are resurrecting the latent God within you. And the Pingala. These Ida and the Pingala are what we'll go and speak in a little later. These are two of the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Now, this, according to Christian law, the Ida and the Pingala are the two thieves that were crucified on either side of Jesus Christ. Now, the two thieves, the reason why we call the two thieves, and the reason why they took those two thieves and placed them there, is because unless the Ida and the Pingala and the energy that flows through them are dysfunctioned and thereby utilized to raise the Kundalini cannot rise. So one thief says, get off and let's do our thing. The other thief says, this day, no, let him be. He's God and he's going to ascend by doing this. And he turns to him and says, this day you will be with me in paradise. Of course, because both of them had to die, and so did the Christ, so that he may raise, just like at the end you see that Heru actually raises his father Asa. This has all been stolen. This is all your what we call the astrotheology as well as biotheology. Everything that's happening outside that's divine is happening within you at the same time. And the symbolisms that you see that your ancestors used did not have to do with profanity or Lucifer or Satan and all this bullshit that these white Christians are now feeling so self-righteous because we are going into hell and we're now exposing all these satanic fools. What is actually happening is that one mythos, Jesus Christ, is now setting itself against another mythos, Lucifer and Satan, and they want you to believe that these two entities are really alive and that they're somehow outside of us and they're getting ready to do battle in the time of Armageddon and all this bull. The Armageddon is within you. You are the one that is doing battle with yourself, against your senses, against all of what it is that keeps you from realizing your God self.